Welcome to the Productivity Podcast. Today we're going on a digital transformation journey with Munza Hijazi, who's the co-founder at ExeQut. Hi, how are you doing?
I am doing wonderful. Thank you so much for having me here.
No, you're more than welcome. You're more than welcome. So before we get into what you do at ExeQut and digital transformation, let's find out a bit more about you. So can you kind of give us an intro, a career background, all the things that you've done to get to where you are today?
Yeah, much appreciated. I started out as a software engineer. Been doing this for about, 15, 20 years now. I started out very early in age as a young teenager. Ended up just kind of going to college before graduating high school, and I loved coding in general. I kind of pivoted into digital transformation in this company in an organic way, I guess. I generally love talking and working with people, and a lot of what we do with software is centered around real world processes and real world problems. Quickly found that a gap in general is being a bridge between software and IT, and between stakeholders and business owners and things like that. So I got an opportunity after co-founding a startup. I got an opportunity to help the first client out. This was, I guess, 7 years ago, with a project that was very much behind. So ended up working with them, being pivotal in, working with everyone involved and kind of helping leading the technical team. And then at that point, I really fell in love with it. So I started the company, and we kind of have grown from there. My brother and my mother actually jumped on board. We have a Syrian background, and family is really important. But I'm first generation United States citizen or immigrant. It was a great step to see support from family. So they've jumped on and they're helping grow the company. And we've over the last 2 years we've grown exponentially, thankfully.
Amazing. So real family affair then.
Yeah, for sure.
Talk to us about some of the problems that you help solve within ExeQut in terms of digital transformation, enabling organizations to apply digital transformation through web, software, mobile.
Right. So it's really pretty much two or three kind of main tasks that are important for digital transformation. It's really working with clients to understand, what their problems are, and that can be difficult to pin down. And then it's understanding what technologies they've already invested in, because many times technology is bought or purchased as kind of a bit of a solution, without really identifying the problem, nor without really kind of agreeing on what the solution really should be. So due to a lack of process, or due to a lack of knowing how to tackle communication problems or procedural problems, a lot of software is purchased, and it's purchased because of the awesome marketing a lot of the technologies do. Purchase this tool set, just basically, for example, Slack or Microsoft Teams, and all your problems are going to go away. But in the real world, of course, after that purchase is done, it's a piece of technology that lays around there. So identifying the problem, and understanding what technology there is, and then mapping out a game plan to really take, companies from their current situation, their current state, into really utilizing technologies available, and using technology to kind of provide solutions, rather than the solutions, the IT dictating the solution, having our clients dictate what the solution will be, and working with them to make sure that technology can do that.
Yeah, so kind of flipping the problem on its head.
Yes, very much so.
So, and it's kind of all badged under this digital transformation banner. So, tell us about some of the common themes that you're seeing in the whole digital transformation world. I assume there's lots of people wanting to move away from paper and Excel and all those other business tools that have been around for a while.
Yeah, the COVID, has accelerated this over the last 2 years. COVID is a tragedy and a travesty. But because of the lack of, us being able to work in the same office together, technology really has become accelerated from an adoption standpoint. So there is an interest in technology. There's also a renewed trust in technology, or not renewed, but a very much stronger trust in technology and the ability to work remotely. And because of that, we've seen an excitement in general in being able to start using technology for more than just talking and communicating. Microsoft Teams, Slack have become, and Google Hangout. Those have become, or Google Meet, it's called. They've become Zoom. They've become a gateway into really starting to think about other things that we can use technology for. So there's a much more of an interest and for people to jump in. At the same time, we see that all the old technologies or old ways of doing things, such as doing everything via workbooks and emailing things across the board, and having not too many processes to really take advantage of technology is also there. So we're trying to use the excitement and use the trust in technology to really help people jump to the next level. And the nice thing is there is a desire right now for everyone to jump to the next level because of what's happened and because of this whole transformation that's occurring.
And when you say the next level, is that level of maturity in terms of products they're using, or ways that they're using the data within those products?
Yeah, and with regards to also how much technology is leveraged to just do day-to-day tasks in general, and how much technology is embedded into processes. Gone are the days where someone's walking around with a clipboard and checking things off, or generating a huge email with a big checklist and having like 50 or 100 people, and then having to knock on people's doors and things like that. Really, everyone right now wants automatic reminders on their products. So case management systems are seeing an uptick. You see no code solutions like Salesforce seeing an uptick in usage, or Pega and things like that. So there's a lot of solutions now that are working to automate day-to-day manual tasks, to automate communication between different parties. And then there's also a huge, now because of that increase in adoption, there's also an increase in trying to use the data that's output at the end result and use that data to make decisions. Like, for some companies, how many leads have I been able to close in the last month that came from email, from the website, for example. These are all questions that are used to only be answered at the biggest of companies, and now everyone has the trust and is trying to be able to make those decisions and really take advantage of data in that way, where before a lot of people had it in a spreadsheet and were trying to come up with that kind of thing manually.
And have you got some good examples from either case studies you've worked on or you've seen in terms of how people have started to embark on that journey and done a good job, or have almost completed that journey and done a really good exemplar piece of work?
Yeah, some clients I'm not able to go into all the details about, but we built a case management system for our client, and in that case management system, we also gave them the ability to search for everything that they needed and find the data they needed without having to rely on just a database person or someone in the middle just having to process all these requests. and giving them the ability, which seems to be like at this point, why don't people have the ability to just find their data automatically? But because everyone was on board and investing in the technologies, the the stakeholders reached out and said, getting and being able to make the decision that I just made in 5 minutes, it used to take me like 3 weeks, and was very emotional about it, because essentially it allowed them and freed them up to do so much more. And there was a lot of pushback on investing in technologies, or being able to have people access data and really figure out who needs to access what. But when all those decisions happened and we were able to quickly build a solution for them, it was a huge game changer for them. And really, we've seen people essentially get really emotional about these kinds of things and say, well, you have no idea how just a little piece of technology, or tweak here or tweak there, or even training on the technology that we have available to us and helping people talk about their problems kind of have an impact on their lives. So
it's really powerful stuff then when people get it right.
Yeah, for sure.
Sorry, in terms of tips for people that are starting to embark on getting the most out of their technology, so you've referenced some, bits of technology that people may have bought historically, that was solving a problem that almost created other problems potentially. Have you got some top tips for them to get the most out of either tech they've had or tech they're thinking to buy or ways of working?
Yeah, for sure. So the first thing is really taking some time and jotting down what data, what decisions you're responsible for supporting, and trying to just nail down, okay, where do I usually get that data? How do I get that data? And what do I do with it? The second thing is probably understanding, a lot of the tools that are available to you. Many times, a tool might be there, but or no one really knows how to take full advantage of that tool. So trying to just take some time to look around and understand the tool set. So if you're in IT, you probably already know the tool set off the top of your mind. But if not, work with IT and really request trainings and request brown bags and things like that. And for IT leadership in general, having those brown bags and trainings and things like that on the tools available to people are super helpful, because it empowers them to really start to trust themselves to use technology. A lot of times, people just don't trust themselves to jump in and use technology and invest time in learning a new tool. So really get educated on the tools that you have available. Get educated on the decisions that you're making and where that data is coming from. Because when you understand some of the tools available, you'll be able to integrate them into your flow. So, and then third, I think it's trying to understand that technology isn't the solution; it's just a tool. Really, when you're thinking about using a new technology, and you learn how it works, you still need to take a step back and really figure out, okay, who's everyone that's going to be involved, and how can I get everyone to agree on how to use this tool, rather than have the tool tell you how to run things. Try to kind of see it as a tool and as a means to an end, not the end itself in many ways. So yeah, definitely those, just to kind of talk about some of the tools that are usually available. 99% of clients that we worked with either have something like Office 365 or have something like Google for Business already purchased. And part of those licenses, there are so many tools. Like, Office 365 has Microsoft Teams, which is in many ways not really leveraged its full potential. There's things like Microsoft Lists, which allows people to create essentially, spreadsheets on steroids. Essentially, you can build in notifications, you can build in workflows without really knowing any code, as long as you just get trained up on those tools. Microsoft Planner is something that's available to most people with Microsoft Office 365. And in general, it allows for, a lot of flexible ways of tracking and the work being done on a project, just tasks and sharing tasks and creating task boards and things like that, Microsoft Whiteboard is a great tool for being able to brainstorm and collaborate on new ideas in real time. And all of these are tools available, but to most people with, for example, a Microsoft 365 subscription, but they're just not being used because people either don't know about them or feel like they don't want to invest the time in learning about them.
So lots of people may actually have access to some of these tools already without knowing and haven't either been told, shown, had the time to invest. So there might be some opportunity for people listening just to go out and explore the tools they've got to make sure they're making the full use. And it also sounds from those tips that you provided there that understanding your data, understanding the flow of that data is critically important before you even consider technology.
Exactly, for sure. And understanding the decisions that are being made and understanding the data that drives those decisions is really important for sure. And communicating that across to everyone, right? Many times we'll find that there's one person that just understands the data, and there's 5 people that are requesting the data from that person, and it's a bit of a black box. So usually, before even being able to put a solution into production, there's a huge discussion that needs to happen around just educating everyone, not only on the tools, but on the data itself and where it's coming from, and making sure that everyone's on the same page, rather than just being nervous about, what's happening, where the data is coming from, what's going to happen to us if this person, goes, we may have the tool, but there's this one person that just understands things and no one else really understands it.
No, that makes sense. Yeah, we see that a lot where there's one person that's the owner or the centre of knowledge, and if they're on holiday, not there, move job, then quickly things can unravel and fall apart. So no, really, really good tip. So, Monzo, if people want to find out more about you and ExeQut, where's the best place for them to find you?
Yeah, our website's exequt.com, and we're pretty active on LinkedIn. We're creating deep dives and case studies and videos as well on YouTube soon. So definitely keep an eye out.
Brilliant. And we'll put the link in the podcast notes because it's ExeQut, ExeQut, isn't it, in terms of spelling?
Yes, sir.
Perfect. Last question from me then. So what's the best bit of business advice you've ever been given?
That's a good question. So there's a couple things that come to mind, but making sure and surrounding myself with the right people and the right partners is something that that's resonated, and being able to use that knowledge and support to not be overwhelmed by the problems that might be at hand. So that we end up sometimes things get really overwhelming, especially with technology and communication and the different levels of education, either for technology or for the problem that we're trying to solve and what the solution really is. That it's having the right people around you that have the correct skill sets and expertise in getting that information out and getting people to agree is something that I've lived by. So try to make sure that our team is very much checks those boxes, and be honest with our partners and essentially clients. We always treat them as partners on what we feel the knowledge gaps are before we get projects started, and making sure that we're all talking on the same level.
Brilliant. No, really, really good sentiments to work and buy internally on with your clients. Monzo, it's been a pleasure to learn about you, learn about the business, some of the great work you're doing. As I say, we'll put the links to the website, your LinkedIn profile, etc., in the show notes, so that if anybody else wants a deeper conversation, they can reach out. But finally from me, thanks for coming on. It's been an absolute pleasure.
Thanks, Simon. Pleasure's all mine. I really appreciate it, my friend.